Right. So obviously we run discovery as part of the setup to any project, which helps sort of unpack ideas, unpack just the general feel and tone for the customer and for ourselves as designers. I find it's easier to design and to create and craft when there's a bit of a foundation and setting. If there's a bit too much of a blank canvas, there's so much room for misunderstanding and misdirection. So I find having a nice discovery outline, roadmap really helps steer the direction and keep everyone on track. It keeps both myself and the client, or yourself and the client, on the same page. So first question I want to ask is, how long have you been running discovery sessions with your clients or with your projects?
I've been doing it since the beginning. This is my second year of my company existing.
Okay.
So ever since I started, I've just done it.
Okay. And generally, what is your, as a rough overview, what does your current discovery process look like? What are some of the key themes you look at?
Initially, I try to understand what is the reason why they want to do the product or the project with me. Then I try to understand exactly what the problem is that they're solving. Because of the fact that I'm product design based, it has to be a technical object. So we have to understand why are they seeking to make something. Because going into manufacturing is very costly. So if you're not sure about what you're doing, then rather we talk about it and then we get to understanding of whether you should go into manufacturing something or conceptualization.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to get into their mindset.
Very cool. And generally, what is the next step of your discovery process? So once you've run discovery, what's the very next step? How do you translate that insight into maybe the first part of the project, or where do you go after discovery generally?
I've had cases where if the discovery is good enough, that we unpack or uncover nuggets of insights that they didn't know that they had, that they can inform me about in the project, and that takes the project in a different direction than they initially thought, and it becomes something better. If I can make an example, I had a client who wanted to initially design this large, complex thing, but looking at the resources and the time available, we decided to do something way more simpler and way more elegant, and he was way more happier because now he has a way to get into the market and build up to the complexity that he wants to get to find and reach the end.
Do you ever build a stylescape after the discovery, just to kind of paint a bit of a visual picture so that you and the client on the same page? So the curated mood boards.
I do something similar to that. But that's more important to the research aspect of it, where after we've talked and discovery, I do some research and then I present the mood boards and something similar to the stylescape too, just to visually show what I've been talking about the whole entire time.
All right. And generally, what do you feel your clients get out of the discovery process? So obviously for us as designers, we set up the project and we get a bit of clear direction. But what do you think your clients get once they have gone through the discovery process with you?
I think a sense of clarity, because everyone, I kind of know what I'm doing a little bit more each time I do it, but with them it's like the first date. No one really knows or sure what to do in the interaction.
Yeah.
So I think with the discovery, when they come out of it, they're like, oh wow, I understand so much more about what you do and how you can help me and how we can go about doing the project.
You also find the clients also gets a bigger sense of confidence in themselves and their idea, because sometimes they'll have a great idea and maybe it hasn't been validated yet or they haven't checked it out yet, and but once they've gone through discovery and kind of unpacked the idea around the clients themselves, you kind of realize that the initial thought was either right or maybe it just needed a bit of tweaking, and by the end of the discovery they are a lot more confident in the way that they want to sort of carry out their project going forwards. So I find it's beneficial for both sides.
Yeah. Also find that it's like a sense of relief for them. They get to experience what it means to go through a discovery and understand that I am a professional. This isn't Mickey Mouse operation.
Yeah. It kind of shows as well, like, that there is a fair amount of research. So, like, I know with myself, during the discovery process, we'll maybe do like 2 sessions, or maybe the whole brand strategy will be about 2 or 3 sessions, at least 3 hours each. And during those sessions, obviously, they'll be fully involved during that time. But then once between the sessions, when they're back home, I'll send them sort of feedback work to kind of go over and clarify and just double check. So then in their mind, they can see there's actually quite a substantial document that goes into it. It's not just like little check box that we're filling out. It's a bit more, in depth, and it's actually forcing them to really think, really unpack, and really get hands-on with the process. So I find like that it does really sort of validate the work that we're doing, and they see, okay, there's a lot more value to it, and they'll obviously be a lot more hands-on as opposed to just a half an hour checkbox ticking, and then they expect you to create magic with a bit of nothing.
Yeah, it's so crazy how the discovery process, once you've done it thoroughly, it just streamlines the whole entire process of afterwards, because now you're both on board, both knowing you need to do what's expected of you. Especially if the client needs to come back with information related to the product or the project, then at least they know what they have to contribute, and they know what I have to contribute, and it's like the give and take.
Well, I think also like a big thing is a lot of people expect us designers just to kind of prescribe like the magical formula for success. I think for myself, they'll be like, I need a website or a logo or whatever it is, and they think, okay, by saying that, then I'm going to suddenly make an amazing thing. But meanwhile, the discovery process helps to diagnose what's happening with the brand, with the visuals and the communication of the brand, but also help diagnose what's happening with the business as well. Because part of my process is to look at the business goals and look at what the impact of whatever changes have for the business, and make sure that whatever we're trying to do aligns with their overall long-term goals, and make sure that it's not sort of like counteracting or going against. That's the big thing, is making sure that the business side of it sort of aligns with the visual or the design side of it.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. It's so easy to have an idea, then looking at the overall scheme of stuff, and if it doesn't fit into the scheme, then it's a miscommunication.
Yeah, 100%. But once everyone's on board, and like I said, for my process after discovery, I'll run further into brand strategy, but then to make a visual conceptualization of the discovery will be a stylescape. So there'll be a few options with a few of the different directions that we have explored during the discovery process that sort of would personify the brand persona, the customer personas, and the way that they want to communicate. And from there, once the stylescape has been sort of picked out, everything based upon that. So every time we have feedback or critics, we kind of say, does this align with what we agreed upon first? And can we carry on forward with that? And in that way, I found that people are a lot more receptive to updates or changes or whatever the process might be, because the whole time we're re-establishing sort of common ground, and from there we're able to move forward. But again, that comes from the solid foundation of the discovery process.
Yeah. It just really helps.
100%.